very good morning to you all. I'm Bhavika and I welcome you all from our Knowledge Transmission Center. Today we would be talking to you all about our product BioIron. So before starting, this is how the product looks like, BioIron. It's a iron supplement, iron. So if you have any kind of iron deficiency, to compensate it, you can take this supplement. So before starting with the presentation, let me all request you to not to violate with this presentation because it is registered under copyright. So like I told you, we would be talking to you all about BioIron, our product. So if you go to see on the left hand side, there is a we know moong dal. So you can see a picture of a moong dal. So what has this got to do with iron? So let me all tell you, moong dal is one of such pulses that is also that contains iron, but does not contain in a very sufficient form. But I'll tell you in the next few slides in what way this moong dal has been enriched with iron and has been put in this supplement. So before explaining you or giving you a complete detail on the product, I'll just give you a brief idea about what iron is, what sort of deficiency you get if there's a iron deficiency for that matter. See, most of the time what happens is when we feel very tired, there are circumstances where sometimes when we are trying to climb the stairs or unnecessary after waking up, we feel very tired, just like a person put in this picture. You have breathlessness, especially while climbing the stairs, or you feel very tired even though you have eaten good food, or even though you're not been working excessively, but your body and your mind still feels fatigue, it still feels tired. So what can be the reason for this? Why do we feel so tired and very weak, even though we know we are not doing any kind of work, especially after waking up in the morning? Our body is still not very active to push ourselves for the entire day. So one of the main reason can be iron deficiency. Iron deficiency, yes, can lead to feeling tiredness, feeling weak, feeling fatigue. So what is iron? Iron is one such nutrient that is it's a mineral, and it is again a nutrient that is found in every cell of our body. Especially it is required for physical health and mental well-being. So it's just not for giving us energy, giving our body energy, but our mind also requires energy to work efficiently, and iron is one such nutrient that gives energy for both physical and for mental well-being. This is because why iron plays an important role. It contributes so much for especially in providing us with good energies, because 70% of our body's iron is found in RBC, that is red blood cells. So 70% of our iron is found in RBC. So if there is iron deficiency, naturally our RBC count, or what we call as hemoglobin, also decreases. And if RBC or hemoglobin is decreased, then naturally the blood in our system also becomes low. And if there is no good amount of blood in our system, and we all know blood has several functions to transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, to give energy to every nutrient that is whatever we eat is being metabolized and is being transported all throughout our body through a mediator, that is blood. So if there is no good amount of blood, naturally there are several problems that our body can face. So what are the main functions of iron? Like I told you, it carries oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. Oxygen is carried through blood, and our blood contains iron. So naturally one of the functions of iron is to carry oxygen. Next is to maintain our immune system. For a good immunity, iron is again required, and for also energy production it reduces tiredness, it reduces fatigue. Along with that, it also helps in supporting our mental well-being. It helps in increasing our learning ability. It gives us concentration. It enhances our concentration, so that we are able to give our 100%, whether it is our studies, whether it is our work, we are able to focus completely. It is also known to strengthen our hair, support in preventing hair fall, and also it helps in keeping our nails healthy. And this is our, just like our how we need to keep our inner body clean and strengthen it, and at the same way we need to keep our outer appearance strong and also in a good way, in a good manner. So for our hair to be thick, long, and to keep our nails healthy, again iron is required, because most of the time we tell first impression does matter. And obviously if somebody sees you, they have to look at you and feel like, okay, this person seems to be a healthy person. Because especially if you're not healthy and you look very weak, tired, your appearance also looks very dull, then probably your work will not be, no matter how strong you are, how good you are at your work, then probably it cannot be put in the front page because of several reasons, appearance for that matter. So even to keep our hair healthy and to keep our nails healthy, we require iron. It also plays an important role, not just for people who do a sedentary activity, but also people who are into sports. So people who are into sports, they do have a tendency to go through a vigorous activity on a day-to-day life. So even for sports personality, it is important that they take good amount of iron, and that's why their diet is also very strict. Because most of the time, because of the lot of cardio they do, the lot of strengthening exercise they do, they lose a lot of sweat, and they sweat a lot, and because of the sweat there are chances that the iron is also getting lost. So how much of iron is required? I've told you about its functions, I've told you what iron is. So first question that usually comes in our mind is, how much of requirement do we have? So according to RDA, that is recommended daily allowance, that is for each nutrient they have given certain grams or certain mg that our body requires to function efficiently. So according to the RDA, this is what the chart says. In general, for a man and women, you need about 17 to 21 mg, and then following for kids followed by their age, the iron also increases, especially for girls in the adolescent age. It increases because of the loss of blood through menstrual cycle. That's why even their requirement also increases. And also in women during pregnancy and lactation, their iron requirement also increases. So here it's just a general population of women, they require about 21 mg, but for pregnancy and lactation, again the value differs. So there are two types of dietary iron, heme iron and non-heme iron. So first I'll talk to you all about heme iron. So heme iron is basically found only in animal food, especially animal food that is rich in the ones we call as red meat, like mutton, like pork, these are all beef for that matter. They are known as red meat, and red meat tend to have high amount of iron. The name itself says red meat, red basically because it has good amount of blood in them, and because because the iron is present in blood, that's why these animals also do tend to have high source of iron present in them. And it's especially for non-vegetarians, usually they tend not to have, most of the time compared, this one accounts to because they take non-veg on daily basis, they tend to have a good amount of iron in them. But that doesn't mean people who are non-vegetarians, they don't get anemia. That is very wrong to even think about. every person who does not get enough of iron on day to day basis, they tend to generate anemia, which usually causes due to iron deficiency. Another group of iron is called non-heme iron. This is non-heme iron is generally found in plant sources, and it accounts for about 30% of total iron intake. In humans with low iron stores, non-heme iron is absorbed more than heme iron. So people, vegetarians should consider themselves lucky, because no matter what iron they take, it tends to absorb completely in their body. So what are these daily dietary iron sources? So we do get iron from oatmeal, dark chocolates, beans, drumstick leaves, dark green leafy vegetables, and also jaggery, raisins, peas, meat, and shrimps and prawns. So these food sources do contain iron, and towards the right hand side I have given you how much of iron do we get from each servings from these given food groups. So iron deficiency is something that is commonly seen in India, especially 50 to 70% of Indians, specifically women, do suffer from anemia, that is basically that causes due to iron deficiency. So most of the people worldwide do have iron deficiency, and women and children are more affected. So RDF iron consumption is 17 mg for men and 21 mg for women, which I have already explained you in the previous chart. But Indian balanced diet usually contains about just 7 to 8 mg of iron. When we more majority of Indians are vegetarians, and in veg we don't usually go with various options, and that's why we do lack in iron in our diet. And most of the Indians, this is according to a research, this is not this is not a statement that I am giving, but according to a research, average Indian balanced diet is about 7 to 9 mg of iron, and we all know that we require about 17 to 21 mg of iron on day to day life. So that clearly states that we are now not getting good amount of iron on day to day basis, and this can lead to iron deficiency. So iron deficiency, like I told you, leads to anemia. So anemia is a condition which usually develops when our blood lacks enough healthy red blood cells or hemoglobin. So when our blood does not contain good amount of RBC, when it does not contain good amount of hemoglobin, it can lead to iron deficiency, and iron deficiency will lead to anemia. So hemoglobin is main part of RBC that binds oxygen and carries it across the body. So like I told you, if there is no good amount of iron, naturally hemoglobin count also decreases, and hemoglobin is required to transport oxygen all throughout our body. So naturally we wouldn't get oxygen, our oxygen transport also decreases. Remember in the first slide I told you why if we have anemia or iron deficiency we feel very tired, when we wake up also we feel very fit, we are not in a state to go for work, or we are not, our learning ability also decreases, because there is no enough oxygen that is being circulated throughout the body. So this is how you can link the symptoms to the deficiency. So iron deficiency, naturally if there is no oxygen circulating all throughout your body, naturally we wouldn't get good amount of oxygen to perform our daily activities. So anemia severity is measured by the level of hemoglobin in the blood. So when we go to hospital and get our blood checked, the doctor tell us that we are anemic, and if you have seen the medical reports also, it usually tells you, like they'll check your blood count and then they'll give you a status saying what exactly, which category do you belong to. This is only by comparing the values. So if you go to see the chart, you'll get to know if a person who's normal usually should have about 12 grams of iron. So if you have about 12 grams of iron, that means that you're a normal person, and as the number decreases, the severity of anemia also increases. and if it's less than 8 gram, then definitely it can lead to severe anemia, and for this there has to be blood transfusion. Then it is a severe case. So if you have about 8 gram per dl of blood, RBC in your body or hemoglobin in your body, then there is a necessary for you to get a blood transfusion. So you can understand how severe this condition is. Anemia is so prevalent in our country that we need to take an action against getting rid of this condition. So what are the causes of iron deficiency? So if we know that anemia is caused because of iron deficiency, so what can happen if we have anemia? Of course, it can lead to it can cause several effects on our body. It can increased need of iron during following life stages decreases. So what happens is during certain life stages or during certain disease condition, the level of blood or level of hemoglobin decreases, or there are chances of getting the good amount of iron so that our body can sustain that iron through hemoglobin and blood. So adolescent or menstruation, pregnancy and lactation. So during these life stages, or it can be due to cancer, which is again a disease, during this time there is a requirement, there is a need of getting good amount of iron, because during this stage the requirement also increases. So if you are not taking good amount of iron, naturally it can lead to the deficiency, which I would be talking to you all about in the next few slides. So insufficient take of iron is usually seen in vegan diet and those people who go on crash diets, and also during in case of malnutrition. So when our diet is disturbed, when we do not take good amount of well balanced food, naturally we will get other nutrient deficiency, but along with that iron deficiency is also seen. It can be because of decreased absorption of iron. So we might be taking good amount of we might be eating good food sources that contains iron, but our body might not absorb it completely. It can be due to high gastric pH or gastric or bariatric surgery, or due to vitamin C deficiency. So even if we are taking good amount of iron, there are certain conditions or certain reasons our body will not completely absorb the iron, and it can be due to these three reasons. Again, if we are not taking vitamin C in a good amount, then again iron is not completely absorbed in our body. That's why when we are talking about diet also, we usually talk about combination of, if we take a combination of iron rich food with vitamin C rich food, then we will increase the iron absorption in our body. So what are the symptoms of iron deficiency with or without the disease? So anemia or iron deficiency with anemia or without anemia, there are symptoms that we can see if there is a iron deficiency. So we feel tired or weak, or we feel we have shortness of breath, especially when we are trying to walk. Even we wouldn't be able to walk a few kilometers. Pale skin. Pale skin is a sign. It is if you go to see a lot of people in general, if they tend to have pale skin, you shouldn't compare pale skin for somebody who's sometimes what happens is people who are a little lighter, who have lighter shade of skin color, we feel like they are extremely fair, but that's not the reason. It can be because of the paleness, and paleness of the skin is very visible. And if somebody has a pale skin, you should definitely right away get to know that a person is anemic or that person has iron deficiency. Rapid heartbeat, along with that there can be frequent infections, falling sick on daily basis, falling sick frequently, depression or irritation, or reduced resistance to cold. So even your immunity completely drops down, and impaired learning, you're not able to give your 100%, the concentration also decreases, your learning ability also decreases. Along with that, decreased appetite, because your metabolism also goes down, you do not feel hungry on, at the right time during breakfast, lunch or dinner. Even your appetite decreases. Again, you will not feel like eating good amount of food. Naturally, again there is deficiency seen. So like I told you, one of the main sign of iron deficiency is paleness in your skin, and specifically when you're seeing not just on your skin, not on your face, but on your hand. So even a doctor, when you go and tell him this deficiencies, or when you tell him the symptoms, what I mentioned in the previous slide, the first thing he'll do is he'll ask you to show your palm, because a person with a normal good amount of contains good amount of iron usually have a hand that is a bit red in color. That means the blood, there is good amount of hemoglobin, there is good amount of blood in your system. But if you are anemic or if you have iron deficiency, your skin tends to become very pale, and then it is clearly visible, just like clearly it is visible in this picture. If you notice, a person, the person with a red palm is basically a person who is healthy, and he has good amount of iron in body, in his blood or in his body. But the person on the other side, the one who is wearing a ring, his palm is very pale. That is because he has anemia, he has iron deficiency. Now it can be anemic, he can be anemic, or he does not have to be an anemic person, but if he has iron deficiency, this is one of the common sign that is usually seen. And that is why now, because our diet does not give us good amount of iron, it is required, it is very necessary that we take iron supplement. But the supplements what we get in the market usually tends to, they are synthetically sourced. That means they are usually found in ferrous sulfate form, or ferrous chloride, or ferrous fumarate, or ferric iron, or carbonyl iron form, which can lead to constipation, stomach upset, and in some cases nausea and vomiting. So that's why we bring to you our product BioIron. So the reason why I mentioned that, usually in general when we talk about iron supplements, it usually comes in ferrous form, which can cause lot of effects. But our product BioIron contains iron in ferritin form. Ferritin form is a good way of getting iron supplement in our system. Along with that, it also contains bioperine. So let's understand in detail about this mung bean that is found in ferritin form, mung bean and bioperine. So if you go to see the previous image, the bottle also contains moong dal. Moong dal, we all know it comes under the pulses family. But one question one question that usually comes in everyone's mind is, moong dal does not contain good amount of iron, which is true. But I will explain it to you in the next few slides in what way this moong dal has been enriched with good source of iron, that too in a ferritin form. Along with that, because it contains bioperine, the absorption rate also increases. So like I told you, moong dal does not contain good amount of iron, but because of our proprietary hydroponic proprietary process, this moong dal has been enriched with iron. So due to hydroponic process, the moong dal has been enriched with iron. So usually moong dal usually contains about 100 to 120 ppm of iron, but because of our proprietary hydroponic process, that is Sami direct Sami Sabinsa group's hydroponic process, it has been enriched with 15,000 to 17,000 ppm of bioavailable iron. So if you go to see the number, there is such a difference, there is such a huge gap. When you generally eat sprouts, when you generally eat mung bean, you just get about 100 to 120 ppm of iron. But if it's been enriched through a process, that is specifically this hydroponic process, not just iron content increases, but bioavailable iron content increases from about 15,000 to 17,000 ppm. This is what is so unique about our product, and that's why this can be called as the best source of iron supplement. So this is our Sami Direct's bio iron. So this bio iron contains moong dal, and the iron content in this supplement is in ferritin form. Also, the moong dal is being enriched through a hydroponic process. Therefore, the bioavailable iron also increases, and this supplement helps in giving or restoring the iron deficiency. So, according to Ayurveda also, mugda, that is patya, that is favorable daily supplement for anemia. So even in Ayurveda, moong dal is considered to be a favorable supplement for anemia, considered to be rejuvenating and nourishing for our body. It also increases or improves our vision, and also is rich in it is also rich in antioxidants. So bio iron, like you all know, none of our products have been put in the market without doing any kind of research. And again, for this supplement also, a good number of research has been done by our R&D team, and according to the clinical study also, a non-randomized open study clinical trial carried out on 30 subjects. So basically it tells how bio iron tablet was given twice a day as a supplement, and at the end of the study there was an increase in hemoglobin count. So when the study was done and when the supplement was given to people for 30 days, for 30 people for the period of 56 days, you could clearly see that the hemoglobin count has also increased. An increase in serum iron was also recorded, which could be correlated to immediate release of iron from bio iron. So when they did another study where they saw exactly the serum iron, they could clearly see that it has completely increased. That means the bioavailable iron has been released and has been stored in our RBC. So this is what the graph clearly tells you from during the time of screening to the end result during the period of 56 days. You can clearly see how exactly the hemoglobin count has increased. Along with that, their platelet count has also increased. So not just hemoglobin, platelet count and also serum iron has increased. So you can clearly see that how exactly this iron supplement plays an important role in completely destroying iron deficiency or anemia. So, and most important factor especially in iron is the bioavailability. We might take, I have already explained you in the previous slide, we might take good source of iron from our food sources, that contains a good amount of iron, but if a body does not absorb it completely, then there is no point of taking so much of food sources that contains good amount of iron. Our body can also react, or it can process in a different way for different individuals. So bioavailability also makes a huge difference. So bioavailability is basically determined by the interaction between the iron and component in a digestive process. So there can be certain factors that can contribute in iron bioavailability. So like for example, ingredients in the meal, like I told you, if you add it with vitamin C and take the iron absorption also increases, iron status in the body, enzymatic reaction in the body, or hereditary factors for iron absorption can also play an important difference. So hence bioiron is a judicial combination of natural iron with natural bioavailability enhancer bioperin. So any product that contain only our bioperin is basically our patented product, and in all our supplements, whichever supplement contains bioperin, you can take that guarantee from us that that any nutrient that you take or any supplement, if it contains bioperine, that means our body will completely absorb the nutrient present in that supplement. So bioperine plays an important role, and this supplement does have bioperine present in them. So iron supplements are usually high dosage but have very poor absorption of iron. So for example, if you take any iron supplement from the market, so 80 mg of elemental iron is consumed from 250 mg of ferrous fumarate. The bioavailable iron contains is only 13 point sorry, bioavailable content is about 13.6, and 13.6 can be again lesser than what our body requires on day-to-day basis. So bioiron or supplement contains natural iron with elemental iron, 8.5 mg of tablets. So if you take 2 tablets in a day, you get about 15 mg of iron on day-to-day basis. And bioperine, I have already explained you how it plays an important role in absorption. Bioavailability also increases. So in another study, it clearly says when bioiron was taken with bioperine and without bioperine, how the graph has also changed. When you take bioiron with bioperine, our iron absorption also increases. So, and also because of our, I've already explained you in the previous slide how our digestive process also plays an important role for iron absorption. Usually what happens in general supplements are, they can disturb the good bacteria that is present in our digestive system because it contains ferrous sulfate. So any iron supplement that you get in the market, if it contains iron in ferrous form, it can disturb the good bacteria present in our digestive system. And because if our digestive system is decreased or if it's disturbed, then naturally the iron absorption also decreases. That's why our bioiron contains good amount of iron in a ferritin form. So even this picture clearly shows how when you take bioiron in ferritin form, the bacteria, the good bacteria in our digestive system is not decreased. So when a study was done in a petri dish, it shows how when you take bioiron in ferritin form, the gut microflora is not disturbed, but when you take it in a ferrous form, you can clearly see how exactly how our gut microflora is completely disturbed. So in general, in conclusion, bioiron does not react with natural normal gut flora because it is in ferritin form, and it is also it is also very safe to use it because it does not lead to any stomach upset and stomach pain, no constipation, diarrhea, any kind of nausea, vomiting, or no excess storage of iron. So hence this is an ideal supplement, not just in giving us good amount of iron, not just in increasing our hemoglobin count, but also it does not disturb the good microbacteria in our body, and it also does not cause any kind of symptoms that can cause that can disturb our digestive system. That's why this is an ideal supplement. So what are the key benefits of bioiron? Bioiron is definitely an excellent source of non-heme iron naturally sourced from mung beans. Also it helps in managing iron deficiency, increases our hemoglobin, and because it contains bioperine, the bioavailability of iron also increases, and it is in ferritin form. So that way you do not have to worry about your gut microflora getting disturbed, or whether the iron will get completely absorbed in your body. So this again, like I told you, if you take 2 tablets per day, you get about 17 mg of elemental iron which meets a recommended dietary allowance. It just not gives you a general, it will not only increase the iron content, but it will give us elemental iron that our body requires. When we get elemental iron, that means our body can completely absorb it, and it is in ferritin form. So suggested usage is basically you need to take 2 tablets in a day, and if you are taking our other supplement Calci D Max, then you need to give a gap of 2 hours. And of course this supplement is recommended for age group post 12 years of age. So I request you all, if you are giving children who are below 12 years of age, you please get your self consulted from doctor, or if you have any kind of other conditions, it is always better that you get your doctor's permission as well. 1 tablet in the morning before breakfast and 1 tablet in the dinner during after food, or it can be taken before food as well, along with a glass of water. So this is our supplement Bio Iron. It is natural, it is definitely safe to use, and it is effective, and it is the best source of iron supplement that you can get in the market. So if you have any kind of queries, or if you need to send us a feedback, you can send us a mail on sdlive@samidirect.com. Don't forget to subscribe and get notifications, and no copyright violation, and make sure that you come and watch us every Tuesdays and every Fridays at 11 AM. Thank you.